Hey. Alright, that's for the camera though.
Yeah.
It's for the camera.
Yeah, it's for the camera.
First
First
one.
Air cheers.
What's your name?
This is Wholesome Podcast. I'm Wholesome B, Mitch. We got Trey always in the building. Today we're with Danielle from Tennessee. She popping in. But I know in hip-hop news right now, it's been, y'all seen the Lil Fizz and Omarion thing?
Man, that shit wild.
That shit is nuts. So,
I ain't seen very
reaction.
Bro, Omarion is smoother than sand.
Well, I ain't seen the black interview.
Nah, he right.
It's Fizz? Lil Fizz?
Nah, no, it's Omarion.
Omarion?
Yeah, Vlad asked him like, man, we're gonna get down to the shit.
He said, how do you feel about the whole situation?
He like shit.
He said,
What
It's
did he say?
Shit, what
No,
can you
he
think
can't.
about it? He good.
What do y'all feel about
he
it?
good.
You got
I mean,
relax in the back, though.
I think it was a very mature way to actually address the situation.
How do you feel about it, though?
I mean, it's just what it is. I mean,
So, what about...
I get the whole happiness thing, right? You get the whole happiness aspect. You do what it does to make you happy. But you still want to, like, think about the people that's involved, right?
How about
And
if
it's
you
just-
were in a band or maybe just your best friend in general?
Mm-hmm.
So, if she got pregnant by one nigga, you would... Or, nah. You got pregnant by a dude and then you're like, fuck you, I'm going to start talking to her.
Mhm.
How would you feel?
Okay, so I've been in a situation where a guy that was supposedly talking to me couldn't talk to me, linked up with my homegirl.
No, we ain't
She got
talking. This is a
pregnant
little
and
bit
got an
deeper than just
abortion.
talking.
I mean,
This is deeper than just talking.
Yeah.
I mean,
He got pregnant by one and started talking to the other.
yeah.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
but I've been in a situation like that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh. She
where
got
a
pregnant.
female got pregnant by a guy who wanted to talk to me, but ended up talking to her because he couldn't talk to me. She got pregnant and had an abortion. I mean, what makes you happy?
Right, so how did you feel about that?
That's not my situation.
It is.
So how am I supposed to feel about something that doesn't actually pertain
Were you close with
to me?
Were you close
And
with
her and her are cool as hell
How does it not pertain to you? You in the middle of it.
because I get to decide how it fucks with me or not. That's a choice. Everything that we feel is a choice, right? Or you actually pause and think about it, right? If I'm going through something right here, right now, what have I done in my past that has led up to this point? Or am I just a puppet in somebody else's story? I mean, it's just circumstance. It's all circumstantial.
No, it's choices.
Yeah, but I say you get control the narrative.
It's all circumstantial based off of the choices that you make. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's that circumstantial.
Yeah, I'm not saying, but if you were attracted to buddy, you're like, man, we are so compatible.
Yeah, like Tim, we're cool. We're still compatible. But he made a decision
So you want to
based
go
off
get...
of what he wanted to do.
So what about
And
what
that's
if
just the consequence
what if it
of
was
that.
like this? This is a hypothetical situation. What if you were the girl? Would you do that? So what if you were with the guy, you had his kid? Would you then go talk to his best friend or his bandmate?
I mean, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's just off of my preference and being, you're already, okay, like,
So you wouldn't make that choice.
that's not a choice.
How about, let me break it down like this.
That's not a choice. I would
Have
make.
you ever hung out with two friends, you might have talked to one, but you just more compatible with the other?
I mean, that's happened as well.
So how you
But
ever
that's,
like...
it's the dynamics of it. Like, how far have you taken it with?
You
said
even didn't
person.
take it far. You're like, damn, I wish I fucked with this nigga first.
I mean, then that's just it.
Have you ever...
That's
No,
not-
have you ever felt like that?
Probably, but that's the what if.
What if?
That's the what if. But, like, what if this didn't happen?
Why
Then
you
I
gonna hold
could've
yourself
thought
back? Why you gonna hold yourself back?
It's not necessarily holding yourself back.
You're
That's
like,
perspective.
damn, I should have fucked that nigga first.
But that's if that's your perspective.
But then that's yours.
No, that's you're asking me based off of how someone might perceive the situation, but that's not how I would perceive the situation. Everything happens as it should when it should. So if I'm supposed to, which is what is supposed to, right? Supposed to talk to somebody, or somebody is supposed to talk to me. But if that feeling was stronger with somebody else, then what the fuck does it matter? How I felt about it, they clicked, they vibed on a certain kind of level that I'm not aware of. That's their issue. That's their prerogative. Like, I don't know. I feel like people think too much into how someone else feels, but at the same time, I can't expect somebody to be as thorough as I am with me, as I am.
Wait, so what makes that other person not thorough because of their perspective?
But they just want
their
fuck both.
perspective. It's just their perspective being different than your own.
So why is that not thorough?
What I consider thorough might not be what somebody else is considered thorough. Like, I think the whole issue with the whole, for instance, what are their names that we're talking about?
Omarion and Lil Fizz? Or you talking about
Lil Fizz, no, not my friends, because I don't have friends who deal with that. Lil Fizz and April doing what they're doing, right? And then for Omarion to come out and say, I don't care.
Shout out to Omarion.
You know, right? And shout out to him. Like, but he has already put his position. He's already let his position be known. Like, their happiness, because this is the mother of my children, you know? Her happiness, whatever makes her happy. Okay, so why the fuck at that point does it matter what everybody else feels or what everyone else expects from the situation?
Because it kind of matters because they're public figures and they have kids.
They are.
That are going to have to deal with this.
No, this is what Omarion said.
Their issue.
No, you're totally right.
Issue.
You're totally right. Lil Fizz and little bit April doing too much. But Omarion, like, man, I wish they would go about it a better way.
Narrative.
Yeah, they'd be a lot more
exactly.
Narrative. Even, and that's not even what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what you're saying. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that the narrative of why they're talking and why it led up to what it is what they need to change. So what he's saying is how you guys are going about it. What you're saying is what led up to this point.
So how
needs to change.
So how
and that's just based off of truth. That's the reality of the whole situation.
Okay, so
you're talking about a man who wasn't fucked up with the fact that his baby mother is fucking one of his homeboys.
Right. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about how will it affect their kids. As their kids are going to see,
they see B2K.
Yeah, they're going to see B2K. They're going to see.
Oh wow, they've been strong 20 years.
And they're going to see how their parents react to said situation.
That don't matter.
But there's still people around them at school. There's still
people
around them in the street.
This is what they say. Like,
okay, so if you have a solid enough foundation in your home and in your everyday life, who gives a fuck?
Peers
what
matter.
Somebody, but peers matter based off of you. Do you need that validation? Who are your peers?
When people are in high school,
a nigga like Omarion don't need it, but he talking about his kids' perspective.
Yeah, when people are growing up, their peers.
But what he saying?
20 years ago. No, he did, but he said like he don't give a fuck, but he cared about what his kids care about.
Yeah.
He did. So like he wish they go about it a different way because it's gonna affect his kids, which will affect him because of their feelings.
Yes. The narrative would change. The situation doesn't change, but the narrative changes. That's understood.
No, that does, but the way Lil Fizz and Lil Bitch April going about it is not changing the narrative.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But he just spoke about his placement.
No,
we're not talking about his placement.
We ain't talking about Omarion.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about his kids, how it impacts his kids, and how they're moving, how the way Lil Fizz and the girl move.
April don't care about their kids' feeling like Omarion do.
It depends. Like he said, you change the narrative, you change all of that.
What does changing the narrative do? What does all that do for the kids, though? The kids have
to
too late.
Not changing the narrative does deal with what?
I'm asking you.
For the kids.
And I'm asking you. So you're asking me that changing the narrative becomes this, right? So not changing it does what? It either leaves the situation stagnant or it changes it. I think based off of how these adult people are handling the situation, that is what your children are going to mirror. That's what your children are going to see. That's
how do you think
what
it will
they're going to know
socially,
to involve. It might impact them socially.
How? I'm saying in what way?
In many ways. I mean, it really depends on how much these children that we're talking about are involved in social media. But that brings up a different conversation.
So you know how the story broke, right? So you breaking out, the story break out and shit. Is mainstream news. Mm-hmm. These kids might be 7, 8 years old. Motherfuckers, they be on the internet about 4 years old.
Exactly.
So they see shit like this.
Why? That's the problem.
No, that's the culture we live in now.
That's the culture
we can't do nothing about that.
Because that's what we've created. So if you want to change how it's happening, then you change
social
the
media for
dynamic
kids.
from the beginning. Social media shouldn't be for children.
Wow.
This is
It's
the
2019.
That's the culture of 2019.
Okay, so if you want to change that aspect, or if you want to talk about, you can.
I'm not a social media guy.
You
I know
can.
you can't change it for kids.
You can.
Yeah.
That's all they know. Little
So
kids,
why,
2 years old, got iPads.
so if you can't change it on that, if you wouldn't want
Kids,
to address it
2
and
years
change
old
it,
got iPads.
on but that can be changed.
They should see anything.
But that can be changed.
No.
Yes, it can.
It's a world we live in. Like,
Yes, it can.
to be
That can
entertainment.
be changed.
No,
And to say it can't be changed is an excuse as to why they do indulge in what they indulge in. That takes responsibility off of these grown-ass people who are involved in this. If your child is 2 or 3 or 4 years old and they have access to a tablet, that is on you. How do they have that access?
You see the Joe Budden podcast with a little Shark Tank shit? Boo, what?
Yeah, Shark Baby, Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got 2 billion views. They get $1 million.
Oh yeah.
And
So shit like that is online.
but
kids can
how do kids get access to that online?
Through multiple variations.
But no, we're talking about when we're starting this at the precipice.
Whatever popping, they're gonna find it. What they like, they're gonna find it.
That's
We
not
can't do shit
necessarily
about it.
true.
Everybody ain't got parental
That's
control
not
like everything.
But that's now you're adding in different dynamics to the conversation
This is true
now.
story. This is
There's
life.
other dynamics that are involved.
It's different
This is
dynamics.
life. We can't control
If
it.
that's your choice,
No,
you
no,
live
no,
in a
no, no.
household. No,
It's not
because
just your household, because when a kid goes
but
to
you
school, they're spending
mentioned-
8 hours at a school.
but you're mentioning
Their
2-year-olds
friends
and
might got
3-year-olds.
the shit.
This is what you just based
So they
off
gonna
of what
look
you
it up
just
on
said.
their own.
But based off of what you just said, right? You're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds. There is more control over
That's
that
fine.
age group than what people
So
say.
we was all 2 4 at one point. Y'all ain't talking to y'all friends?
You could talk to your friends, but then okay.
I'm gonna talk about
okay.
fuck shit.
So now that's a disconnect between adults in the household.
No
Maintaining
matter how
and
old you
dictating.
get, no matter what age
But
you
if that's
are,
the
at one
case, then this
point,
conversation
it's gonna be
is
a
completely
disconnect.
void. If that's the case, this conversation is completely void. There has to be a start somewhere.
I get what you're saying.
I feel it.
There's a start somewhere.
Very true, but it can't
doesn't
control.
Somewhere.
It doesn't
And you
change.
can't control just like having that in okay, so you teach your kids in the household, right? Right? You have kids, you teach them in the household. They go out and because they see Jim Bob and Billy Bob Thornton over here doing fuck shit. Are they gonna do fuck shit because that's what they
This
see?
is
Yeah,
completely
the only
Or are
thing
they
they can
supposed
do,
to see what it is that you
the only
teach?
thing, the most they could do is go off the basic morals.
Right. So this is not something that's just completely fuck shit. This is just social media and,
Yeah,
and technology.
the most they could do go off
So
the
the
basic
access
morals.
to technology comes from where? You're talking
No.
about age
The
groups.
access comes.
And
a lot
I'm
of
only
access comes
mentioning
at
this
school,
based
in
off of
preschool.
him talking about 2-year-old, 3-year-old. My mom teaches in the school district. I do understand
I'm
how
just
much
the iPad.
technology is
Your
into.
mom don't see everything. Jit gonna be like, hey,
No,
do you
they
know about this?
actually-
Woo, woo, woo. They
They
gonna look on
actually
it on their
do
own.
because they see all these pop twerk, bend it over, shake that. They see all of that in the school district. They see what
And
the
whatever
kids are
popping, they
looking
go
at.
like, oh, you see this shit? Go let
Okay.
it bitch up and get home.
Okay, exactly. So my point is, right? Just like I can with my phone pull up and see who can access and what they can access on my plan. If that is a rule that you want to set for your children, then you set it. Period. I did fucking technology classes and computer classes and typing, and we're all on the web and all, but it starts somewhere. And the education starts somewhere, and it doesn't matter how much you teach your child up. Ain't that what they say? Everybody wants to talk all religious and so forth. And I'm not even all into that. But you raise a child up, and they'll never part. That is legit. You learn so much in the house, and you learn so much at school. This is true.
Everybody gonna
Naturally
something.
so.
I feel you.
Naturally so. But as long as you're in the house, like, okay, you can go out and learn whatever it is you do, right? But you in my house. And in my house, we sit here and we learn about this. We learn about this. We learn about this.
Right. I get what you're saying.
So yeah,
People can communicate with their teachers' parents all day about my child doesn't need to eat this. or my child doesn't need to be around this, or my child is allergic to this, but you don't want to have that same conversation as far as the knowledge that but people don't do it. So that's the issue that we're having, is the fact that it exists for you to say my child doesn't need to learn this,
very true, but
or doesn't need to hear this.
People who gonna speak it, what they say, the hard head makes soft ass.
Soft ass.
Like motherfuckers gonna try for themselves.
That becomes a different problem. You're talking about people trying for self.
No, I'm talking about all that shit.
But what I'm just going based off of what you're saying to me, love. You know, people do for themselves. People act for themselves. Right. Adults with children react, and they tell their children, "This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do." Right?
Right.
Awareness isn't taught. That's not a taught thing. Your parents didn't have to tell you, don't go out here and murder your classmate for you to know that murdering your classmate was fucked up. That's my thing. Morals and the reality of what is just and what is right is rooted in us. That's not something that needs to be taught. Ignorance is taught. Racism is taught. All of these separations are taught. What we know we need to do is what we know we need to do. That's not something that we have to sit and have a fucking conversation about.
Kind of. Yes and no. Yes and no.
You would hope so.
Because some things, I mean, bigger things like maybe like murder, yes, but smaller things that might possibly be wrong, but there might be a little bit of gray area, those things do need to be taught.
It's like you got two siblings and shit.
So this separates them.
You got two siblings. They taught the same shit growing up. You feel me? They like less than a couple years apart. One nigga might be on the fuck shit. The other one got the morals he grew up with.
It's a choice.
Everything's a choice.
But they could have been raised the same though, so it's not.
They were raised the same.
Choice.
Right.
That's
the choice
everything.
is individually made.
But some of those choices are due to the social environment around them. So whether it's social media or just the people that are around them at school, it's still that social environment that has an impact on everybody. Peers matter. Not just parents, so peers matter.
Peers matter based off of how much you let.
No,
peers matter.
It's automatic. It's part of being a human being.
No, low-key common sense. You spend more time in school than you do with your parents who go to work every day. The only time you spend time with your parents is on the weekend.
You do.
So how?
Okay, so just like me, living here, right? And I left here when I was 10 years old, and we moved to Philadelphia. And I was quiet, and I was meek, and I was...
No pun? Was that a pun?
I was in my own...
I don't know if that was a pun. My bad.
I really did that, but it would have been...
I thought it was bars, yeah.
It would have been good.
Bars and stuff. No, we would have been... I was chill. I was meek. I mean, you should have gone even bad. Continue, though.
I'm not that cool, though. But no, we moved to Philadelphia, right? And I grew up in Minneapolis, the only black kid on my street. That's how I grew up, surrounded by...
crackers.
That's it.
Right.
Oh, bleed that out.
Look. Damn. What he said, right? That's how I grew
Caucasian.
up.
Hey, hold on, let me pause. I'm stupid in a mug, too. So, luckily you was recording here, because I wasn't recording on here. The mics weren't recording yet.
You trying to do... Oh, this?
Because the mics was on, but I wasn't recording. But
so
it's just the sound on there.
Oh, we ain't got the sound.
Now we do.
Oh, now we do. Okay, but anyway, right? So, stupid. I grew up the only black kid on my street in Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, however you want to say, right?
Yeah.
So when I moved to Philadelphia, it was a shift that had to take place. Because I went from being the only black kid on my street to looking down barrels of guns. Right, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not because of who I was.
Just
or because
it was.
How easy would it have been for me to fall into?
No, very true.
Into that. I'm supposed to start school, and the same day I start school, somebody's getting stabbed in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? How easy would it have been?
In the white neighborhood?
No.
No, in Philly.
In our neighborhood.
Yeah, Philly.
Where people... Like us are at.
Ain't no warning.
You know? That's it. There was no warning. There was like, oh, they beefing. She got stabbed.
Beef in the street, no patty.
I want to go to Catholic school. That's how it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, take that shit to
Tell
the
her.
head. Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. I think falling into your environment and being a product of, yes, at the end of the day, we all are a product of our situations and what we've been through. But how we choose to be in life moving forward is the choice.
But
that is a choice.
But also, everybody could interpret life separately. You could grow up with somebody and whatever, y'all been through the same shit, but everybody interprets shit differently. That's why y'all come out differently.
It's a choice. It's a choice that people make. If I'm in the same situation as you, right? We're both from the hood, slummed out, parents might be crackheads, whatever. I made a choice to go here, and you might have made a choice to go here. But the choice is ours. If the situation is the same, what is there a because for?
Because
you either chose to do right or you chose to do wrong.
No, you can't say it like that. Everybody process it differently. Emotionally, y'all took it in differently, so you can't be like, he took that shit that way because
That's for self though.
No,
it's not about judgment. That's a self choice.
No, processing is not the same.
Processing doesn't have to be the same, but the choice that is made is the same choice that I have to make for me that you have to make for you.
People are individual.
People might yes, they are individual.
Whatever, buddy. Even though it might have been a wrong choice, he processed the shit wrong. He thought it was right, but
that's his perspective.
Yeah.
To him, it wasn't wrong.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
To him, it was right.
That's what I'm saying.
That just separates the person, though.
So you can't judge.
It's not the circumstance. It's the choice of the person. I am all for holding people accountable. You know, people always say apply pressure, right? I apply no pressure. And the reason I apply no pressure is because grown folks do what grown folks want to do.
That's a fact.
Regardless, pressure, no pressure, it doesn't matter.
Right. You
grown as hell, right? You do what the fuck you want to do, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how the actions impact, regardless of anything, right? So young kids want to be acknowledged enough as grown-ups to make their own decisions, right?
No,
but
fact.
Get pregnant at 16, 17 and got their mama watching the baby for the first few years, right?
That ain't even a big issue. Peer pressure.
It doesn't matter. We're not even talking about it at that point. Everybody's concerned. I think everybody is too fucking concerned about what someone else thinks. That's the big problem now.
But that's part of being human, though.
Yes, it is. But it's also about understanding that the choices that you make are strictly yours.
I mean, I agree with
it's
that
yours.
part.
It's not about the situation and what's going on, because I'm statistically proven I'm supposed to be nothing right now. I'm supposed to have multiple children. I have none. I'm supposed to have multiple baby daddies. I have none. Because that is the statistic around people who grow up, black women in single parent households where the dad isn't around. I'm supposed to have buku fucking children. I'm supposed to have all these baby daddies. I'm supposed to be on welfare, drugged out, stressed out, this, that. But that's not my reality.
Right.
But at some point, I had to make that choice for myself. I don't want to be this.
Right. No,
that's not the reality that I want to have. It boils down to a fucking choice. Do you choose to be a statistic? Do you choose to be a product of your environment? Or do you choose to not?
I agree 100%, but just working in the field out of work, then it look like it's harder than what it should be.
Absolutely.
It seems a lot harder.
Yeah,
it's growing up. It's not easy.
Growing up, I ain't think it was that hard. Nigga, I made my decisions. I done did fuck shit, but I did regular shit too. Being in this field, I seen
It's definitely not easy because circumstances impact the choices that you see. And that
they don't want to look like no bitch ass nigga in front of all the other peers.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like that shit ain't
it's
no
just
joke.
all knowing that's a choice. That is
it is a choice.
Like,
it is.
consciously made.
To a certain
for
extent.
whatever reason it is.
It's a very tough choice though, when you don't see nothing else.
Yeah, when that's all you know, then I can't blame him. I try to tell
sometimes you don't know that there is another option. You don't know that.
They literally don't know. These
right.
kids don't know.
And then you have to blame the future generation.
You can't blame nobody. They don't know.
Because it's still a choice they made.
It is a choice that they made based off of the knowledge that they were given.
True.
So if you come from an environment and you
their parents ain't
a lot of people aren't aware.
Right, they just don't know.
Just like people have the ability to heal themselves. All of this trauma and shit that a lot of black kids have and a lot of black youth have is based off of feeling like they cannot heal themselves, like they cannot communicate. But everybody wants to talk about.
Sometimes they parents fucked up.
Everybody wants to talk about being God, though.
Well, they grew up underneath fucked up parents who on drugs and shit. So what they be like, man? All I see is whoop 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 from the music to what the fuck I see. Luckily for us, we had parents to guide us and shit. People to guide us. These kids got fucked up paying drugs.
But it wasn't bad. I mean, okay, so
these kids got it bad.
Okay, so right, and they do. They do.
Sometimes,
and just to talk about my situation, right? My mother wasn't financially she could do what she needed to do.
Right.
You know, emotionally, we lacked. Right?
Did she tell you the right thing?
There was you don't really know. Because my mom didn't say anything. She didn't communicate.
You would have no idea.
Okay.
It was about me seeing and saying, like, wait a second, like, okay, so this is what she's dealing. That was just me, though. I can't speak for everyone else.
No,
and because I am me, I was able to tell my little sister, like, don't take this to heart. But I think we fail to realize that our parents were humans too, and just like we have emotions, and we've gone through breakups, and we've gone through whatever it is we go through. Our parents did that too. The only reality is that they had us.
Right.
So I didn't watch. My mom didn't raise. My mom loved her children. I'll never take that from her. But my mother raised me off of survival. Right. She was in survival mode, based off of what she had been given, based off of what she could process. So it was a lot of days where my mom didn't teach. Like, my mom is an educator. Right. She is a teacher, but she could teach everyone else.
But not an in-home environment.
Except for us. Because there were different variables playing into that.
And a lot of times.
So I get that aspect of it.
I mean, you were enlightened early just on a lot of different things, but a lot of times what happens, that causes trauma on the kid that they don't even know that they have.
Right.
And so.
Most of the time that is trauma.
Yeah.
That is that.
And you ain't know trauma to a part. You gonna be like, okay, she was an educator. Right. Yeah, she was an educator. She taught people. So I just had to play my part. So you probably like, I can make her look bad type shit. So
exactly.
Like,
So
like,
I have to be this kind of way, or I have to act that kind of way. Right. And it was a lot of pressure as far as that's concerned too.
You ain't know it till then too.
I mean, of being like, oh, because your mom is this, you have to be that. And I'm so like, I just don't care. Like,
right.
You're like, I'm gonna do me.
Like, I don't care how you're entitled to that. You're grown. That's why I say apply no pressure. Mm-hmm. Because the weak are going to fold regardless of what you do. I apply no pressure, especially as an adult, especially as a woman though. And a single woman at that, in this time frame, and coming out of what I've been through in the situation, I don't apply pressure because grown people do exactly what grown people want to do.
Yeah, you can't.
And that's what they can do, what they want to do, what they don't have to do, what they feel they need to do. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is. Grown folks do what grown folks do. That's why I can't look at my mom and judge her too harshly. Right. Because you felt like what you did was what you needed to do. My stepdad, however you feel like you need, like, that's just what it is. I'm just at a point where I think a lot of people don't really understand. Like, you want what you give out reciprocated. We all do. Right. That's the human aspect of all of it, is to want what we give. But how can you actually expect that? Because people do what people want to do.
That's a fact.
It doesn't matter who they are. Parents, step-parents, siblings. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Facts.
People do what the fuck they want to do.
Facts.
They feel how they want to feel. They're entitled to that.
That is very true.
It is.
And what people doing what they want to do and what they making
Should
their
do,
choices, what they should do.
But what black men do and the choices they make are...
Okay, hold your cup first. We're gonna toast to this one.
Yes.
Yeah, get your toast. Everybody toast up to this one.
There we go. Salute.
What black men do and don't do is what black men don't cheat.
This
has been the Wholesome Podcast, Wholesome B, Mitch and Trey. We appreciate Danielle coming in and giving us her knowledge.
Yeah.